Mr. Nitin Poddar, my friend Kiran Karnik, my friend Kumar Ketkar, Vijay Kelkar, old friend. We worked together in Rajiv Gandhi's time. Distinguished award winners, dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It is indeed a special privilege for me to be here in this great city with you all at this special event to celebrate and recognize many distinguished award winners here. First, my heartfelt congratulations to all of them. Each one of these award winners add so much value to Pune and to Maharashtra. We salute each one of them individually and collectively. Thank you. Kiran Karnik and I go a long way. We've been friends, well-wishers, mutual admirers, and we worked together on several projects, and I have always enjoyed his company. He's very humble, very simple, very clear, and has always provided a lot of support to me. And I thank Kiran. In my journey, he has been a great partner. Thank you. This city is a city of intellectuals. That's how I grew up understanding. My relationship with Pune goes a long way because my father-in-law went to school at Ferguson College in Pune. He's 102 years old. He lives with us in Chicago right now. And he'll be very happy when I go and tell him and show him some pictures from Pune that I was in your city and I had an opportunity to meet so many interesting people in Pune. I will see him on Monday, and I'm sure he'll be thrilled. At 102, he's still walking, talking, drinking beer, and enjoying life, and always given a chance, talks a little bit about his student life in Pune. He used to say that Ferguson College was the best education he ever had. So I'm delighted to be here in this city where there are 300,000 students, I'm told. I would like to use this opportunity to talk a little bit about technology. I hope I don't bore you, but I want to take you through a quick journey on technology. But before that, I should tell you that this book is a journey of mine to connect India, and I had no idea that this was going to be released here. I just found out 2 minutes ago. I want to thank Sarda and publishers for this piece of work. When Sarda and Kumar Ketkar visited me in Chicago, we spent some time together, and I saw the book. I've gotten a lot of compliments from my Marathi friends, and someone even suggested to Sarda that this should be translated in English. Which I thought is the best compliment you can get. So thank you. Really appreciate your effort. My journey has been a very interesting journey, full of accidents, romance, ups and downs. My highs have been very high and my lows have been very low. I was born in 1942, 75 years ago, in a small little tribal village in Orissa. My parents had fourth grade education. In a village, there was nothing. No schools, no doctor, no nurse, no pharmacy, no nothing. My father had gone from Gujarat to find work in Orissa. And my mother delivered 8 kids, all at home. All 8 out of 8 turned out to be mentally healthy, physically healthy, and all went to US, all studied reasonably well. And in that village, I could never imagine growing up as a kid that I would see all these technological changes in my lifetime. Journey in those days used to be in bullock carts, literally bullock carts. I remember that. Looking at train was the advancement. When electricity came to that town in 50s, I had already left Orissa and came to Gujarat. It was eye-opener what electricity could do to your house, because we remember laltins. When radio came to our house for the first time, only thing you could listen was the whistle, because there was no reception in Titlagarh. So we as kids used to listen to this whistle, and that was our fun until we got a big antenna, mesh antenna, tied it up. I got fascinated with physics as a kid. So I studied physics as opposed to engineering. I liked math and had no idea where life will take you. So one fine day I read in the newspaper that President Kennedy has decided to take man onto the moon. I was young, energetic, stupid. And I said, I must go to US. I had no money. Borrowed some money and took a boat from Mumbai to Karachi, to Aden, to Suez Canal, to Naples, to Genova. Took a train from Genova to London, took a plane from London to New York, and took a bus from New York to Chicago. Landed up in cold winter, 1964. Had never seen snow in my life. And I was fascinated with doorknobs, because I had never seen doorknob that goes in and comes out. I had only seen latches. And everything I looked there was an innovation to me. Mailbox was an innovation. Naturally, cars was out of my mind. I had never made a telephone call in my life before going to America, because in those days telephones were rare, and if somebody had a telephone, the person was too rich to be my friend, so there was no need to call. And when I saw my first phone in US, it was like little monkey getting a toy. And I was fascinated with television. I knew how to design one, but I'd never seen one. This curiosity of a little boy from India grew tenfold once I got to US. Everywhere I looked around, I saw opportunity to invent, saying, why is their envelope different than my envelope in India? Why is the stamp different? And I was just amazed. It was hard to sleep at night, looking at how heater operates. Simple things, electric iron. I'd never seen one because I had the coal iron. Everywhere I looked around, I said, my God, how come these guys did all this? And it seems so simple, and we never got to see all this. And that got me into a whole new journey that I want to share with you. Technology is all about problem solving. A lot of people think it is something exotic, fancy, urban, elitist, and sexy. Technology is all about problem solving. It is so simple, but it all depends on how you look at it. Unfortunately, almost all important technologies in the last 50 years have come from the US. No one has invented anything outside of US of any substance. And when I say this to my Japanese and European friends, they react. And I say that's true. Because there are 3 or 4 fundamental inventions that change everything in the last 50 years. One, transistor. And transistor was born in 1947. Simple little idea, conducting in 2 directions, changed the world. Transistor gave us radios, televisions, cell phones, internet, web, computers, software, toys, tools, information revolution. And in 50 years or 60 years, changed the face of this world. One little invention. Second one was DNA, genetics, biotech, all of that. One was about outside to connect people. Another one was about inside to fix us. These 2 things went simultaneously. First transistors, then DNA. And the minds of the scientists and engineers opened up one by one. So many different things that today possibilities are absolutely unreal. And my main goal is to talk about those possibilities. Transistor revolution I have lived through. I've been very much part of it, directly, indirectly, knowingly, unknowingly. When Intel company was being formed, I was there, physically present in front of founders of Intel. Bob Noyce, that's Robert Noyce. Dr. Lester Hogan. I was a young engineer then. And when I went to US, I went to get a PhD in physics. And I found out that it takes 7 years to get a PhD, which was my sort of subject. I was hoping to be a physicist. And when I found out that it takes 7 years to get a degree, I went to my professors and I said, look, I have a girlfriend in India. And I can't wait for 7 years because hormones have taken over. What can I do in a year? So they said, okay, go get a degree in electrical engineering. So I said, okay, that's what I will do. So I flipped and changed it to electrical engineer. I got a degree in 9 months, started work. An accident would have it that I got a job in telecom. I had no idea. I didn't even know what telecom meant. Ignorance is a great asset. Don't let it go. Too much knowledge sometimes scares you. When I came back after talking to Mrs. Indira Gandhi and said, I'm going to fix India's phone, I had no idea. If I had known everything I know today about India, I would have never tried it. So I got into telecom by accident, got into digital switching, got a lot of patents, started a business, made a little bit of money. And then one day, after 15 years, came to India and could not make a phone call to my wife from Delhi. And a lot of arrogance and a lot of ignorance said, I'm going to fix this. And I found meaning to my life all of a sudden. I'd made a little bit of money, and making money did not interest me at all, because we grew up in Gandhian environment. I went to Gandhian school. At our home, Gandhi was the role model. When I was a little boy, Gandhiji died, and my father came and said, Bapuji just died. Everybody at house had to take a bath, as if somebody in the family had died. And our only connection to Gujarat in those days used to be Gandhiji, Sardar Patel, and Nehru. 3 big pictures used to hang right at the entrance of our house. And every day you saw these 3 faces. And that's how you sort of decided that this is what life is all about. So I went back to Chicago and told my wife that this is what I'm going to do now. Okay. But I had also realized that a lot of the technology in the US has roots in defense. And best brains in the world were busy solving problems of the rich. Even today, all best brains are solving problems of the rich who really don't have problems to solve. And as a result, problems of the poor don't get the right kind of talent. And problems of the poor are very complex. So I thought I found another romantic thing to do. So I started my journey on telecom. Rajiv Gandhi gave again meaning to my life by giving me an opportunity to work on telecom. I worked together with him for almost a decade, and I had the best time of my life. Gave me free hand. Lot of the things people talk about today happened in mid-80s. Nobody remembers all this stuff. When we talk about Digital India today, everybody thinks Digital India is a new idea. It just happened in the last 2 years. Don't let anybody fool you. It started in Rajiv Gandhi era. Formation of NIC. Formation of NIC was the digital revolution in those days. Collecting data for every district was new in those days. As I got into telecom with Rajiv, I also got an opportunity to work on technology missions. So we could take technology to people. Worked on literacy, immunization, edible oil, drinking water, telecom, and milk production. All 6 areas has technology as an entry point to bring about generational change. People don't remember anything. Today people talk about eradicating of polio, and they see some ad in the newspaper, some actor giving drop, and they think this is how it happened. Let me tell you, in Rajiv Gandhi's time, we decided to set up vaccine production. In this city, we came, visited, worked with the local entrepreneurs, and today we are the largest vaccine producers in the world. No one remembers. Jairam and I decided one day, we had a meeting of all the doctors, about 60, 70 people, including Dr. Jacob Jones, on polio vaccine, injected versus, that is KPV versus oral. Big debate. That evening I decided that we are going to make polio vaccine in India. And everybody said, can't be done. I went to Rajiv and I said, we want to make polio vaccine. He said, how much it will cost? Then I said, $300 million. He said, okay, go do it. I told Jairam, I said, Jairam, let's go to Russia, let's go to France, talk to Mario and others, find a partner in India, which happened to be in Pune. And it took 25 years of hard work to eradicate polio. No one knows. No one understands. There is a thing called Guinea worm in India. Guinea worm is like a spaghetti that comes out of your body. In India, we had 37,000 villages with Guinea worm. It could come out of your ear. You roll it with pencil. And it came as a waterborne disease. In 4 years, we eradicated Guinea worm from India. So when a lot of people come and say nothing happened in last 50 years, they have no clue. They are so ignorant. And people believe them. Remember, at the independence time, we had very little. We were robbed by our masters. Our founding fathers had the vision to build laboratories, CSIR, agricultural research, and all of that. IITs, IIMs, they built. They built institutions. It took 50 years to get results. Things don't happen overnight. Who had the guts to plant seeds for those institutions? How many new institutions have been formed by somebody else in this country? Without those institutions and infrastructure and talent, we won't be where we are today. Again, people don't remember any of these things. So when we work on technology missions, our idea was to really expand this further, to make sure that the technology would benefit people at the bottom of the economic pyramid. I've always said that the real challenge is to lift 400 million out of poverty in India and not to create more billionaires. It is unfortunate that we have created an environment where that little boy we saw wants to be the richest man. And we have lost the Gandhian dream. We get Fortune 400 richest list. We don't get the list of best doctors, list of best teachers, list of best NGOs. So there is nothing to inspire us except money. Rajiv Gandhi's loss is much bigger than people know it today. I must tell you, I felt it. Maybe I was too close to him and I was too emotionally wrapped up as a human being. So maybe I overplayed it. But I know the dream we had together. I know the vision we had of India. If he had been alive today, India would be very different, believe me. The India of our dream of our founding fathers was very different than the India we are beginning to build today. India is one country that can show to the world what kind of a democracy and society we want to build. Nobody else in the world has that capability. American democracy is all based on consumption, capitalism, disparities. Rich are very rich, poor are very poor. And everybody wants to copy that. And that is a recipe for disaster for India. So how do we use technology to really equalize society to some extent? And it's not socialist versus capitalist. People tend to put labels too quickly without really understanding the soul of it. It doesn't make sense for me to be so rich that my neighbor can't even eat. How can I stand that? How can I live in a system where disparities are so very large? It is in my interest to have equality so my neighbor is equally well off. How do we get that sense? And how do we use technology to really lift these 400 million out of poverty is a big challenge for us. Sitting there, I made some notes. I had no idea what I was going to talk about. So just before coming here, I asked Nitin, what do you want me to talk about? So he said technology. I said, okay, that's good enough. And then I sort of put this puzzle together in bits and pieces, but now I can't read my own handwriting. Okay. So if I just ramble a little bit, bear with me. Okay. So when I started telecom, we had 2 million phones in India. It used to take 15 years to get telephone connection. Today, in a short span of 25 years, we have 1 billion phones and we are a nation of connected billion. And credit goes to a lot of our young entrepreneurs, young talented engineers and scientists, and political will of Rajiv Gandhi. I was an instrument. I get too much credit for it. But believe me, no one person can do any of these things. I'm not capable. I don't have the talent to do it. And I know where I stand on it. Without Rajiv Gandhi's political will, without young Indian talent, nothing would be possible. But with that formula, we can do so many interesting things in this world. After independence, 5 really major things got done in technology. One, definitely agricultural revolution. People thought India won't be able to feed herself. India was a basket case. Today we can feed 1.2 billion and we have surplus food. Unfortunately, still 200 million people are hungry in this country because we haven't used technology of logistics to get food to the people who need it at the right time. Atomic energy, space, milk, and telecom. These are the 5 major visible accomplishments in technology in India. I'm sure there are many others, but these sort of relate to common people. Yesterday I was in Bangalore and I visited one lab where there are 1,100 scientists work on biotech and health research and all that. I was amazed at what's going on in Bangalore. Government funded lab. A group I met is growing skin. So if you are burned, they will take part of your stem cells, grow skin in a month outside, and then put a patch like tape. And I must tell you, when I met the group, of 11 young, bright engineers, there were 7 girls. Amazing. I almost cried. These kids in their 20s and 30s, PhDs, PhD from Purdue, PhD from Iowa, are working out there. They never get credit. Nobody even knows them. That is what is going on in India. It is not about cricket, Bollywood, and political gossip. It is not about media messages on social network that drives India. It's all bogus. What's going on in those labs will create new India. And those people will never get recognized, will never get credit. Nobody would even know them, that they exist. And that's what technology is all about. The sacrifice people make in technology and science. And there are so many talented people in India, I tell you, it's amazing. And they work against a lot of odds, very hostile environment, little bit of funding on and off, no recognition of any kind except few awards here and there. Of course, few people get recognized, but the real workers don't get lifted in the system. So now, 50 years down the road, I see so many interesting things that could happen. That world will change completely. So not only we went from 2 million phones to billion phones, but we also generated 120, $130 billion worth of software export and services, thanks to people like Kiran and others at NASCOM and a lot of software engineers and entrepreneurs who gave us a platform to be recognized world over. No matter wherever I go, and I travel a great deal, I go to Argentina, I go to Africa, I go to wherever, and as soon as I stand up on the stage, get recognized as Indian talented software person. And it is not because of me. It is because of all these software people who work all over the world, from Norway to, Netherlands to Nairobi. Each one of those are our representatives who give us pride, honor, distinction, recognition, respect. No one would say in the world that Indians are dumb. Guaranteed. So Indian, smart guys. Okay? That's what we have accomplished in the last few decades. And credit goes to all of us, especially our young. So now this connectivity that we have is bringing huge challenges for us. We really don't know what to do with this connectivity. And it's a problem world over. Not only India is connected, but the entire world in the history of mankind has been connected for the first time. All 8 billion people are connected, essentially. What does this connectivity mean? Nobody knows. Nobody understands. This event of connecting world with 8 billion people connected has not been celebrated. This is a global event in the history of mankind which never happened. Nobody has even noticed it. UN has not celebrated. Nations have not celebrated. Professionals have not celebrated. This should have been a 10-year celebration saying mankind is connected. Now that we are connected, how do we see the world? Disconnected world was very different from a connected world. When I gave a presentation to Mrs. Gandhi in 1981, I said, I have one dream. I want to connect India. I want to connect so that the Northeast feels I'm part. So that poor feels I can do the same thing. So that the girls feel I'm connected to the rest of the world as well. Today, when I see the reaction in the world of popularism in many parts of the world, including here, I see that as a knee-jerk reaction to connectivity. Everybody is concerned that now we are connected. What do? They don't know. They're afraid. They're threatened. So they want to use patriotism as prejudice. They want to close borders for immigrants. They want made in US, made in India. When you know that the connectivity can't do that. Connectivity says world is open. Anybody can go anywhere. Ideas are borderless. And you cannot prevent any more integration. Holistic approach to the world. You cannot say that your air you breathe is different from the air I breathe. And connectivity says the product you use is the same as product I will use. Never happened in the human history before. Movement of products, trade, people, ideas, innovations is now borderless. And a lot of people are threatened with this. They have no idea what they are threatened with, believe me. And the world design that happened after World War II, with US leading, that design is totally broken today. It doesn't work. But world still continues with that design. And we need a new design in a connected world. And I'm spending a lot of time learning and thinking about these things. So for a minute, I know I'm taking too much of your time. I was given about 30 minutes. So if you give me 5-7 more minutes, I hope I'm not boring you. Okay. Please, you don't have to be nice. Okay, I can deal with that. Huh? Okay, thank you. You made my day. Okay. So now let's see what this connectivity or where this connectivity takes us. And I'm concerned about the future in many ways, and I'm very optimistic about future in other ways. Okay. So now let's see that the world is connected, computing power has increased, big data, cloud computing, open source software, handheld terminals, powerful computing all over the world, robotics, drones is one aspect of the future. Another aspect of the future is biotech, nanotech, materials, alternate energy. When you put these two together, clearly I feel that people will live to be probably 150 to 200 years on an average very soon. You're looking at a man who had 2 quadruple bypasses, 4 stents, cancer, and I work 16 hours a day, every day, and I enjoy life, thanks to technology. If this had happened 10, 20 years earlier, I would have been dead. So we are living in the best of the best times in the human history. But at the same time, we are not happy because of terror, conflict, confusion, chaos, uncertainty, wars. So how do we reconcile with all this? So let's take one by one some of the technologies. When I look at internet, web, I'm convinced that everything is about to change completely. Everything we do today is basically obsolete. Everything. Who decided it should take 4 years to get a degree in college? Why does it take 4 years everywhere? Brazilians take 4 years, Indians take 4 years, Russians take 4 years. Somebody must have sold a lemon. When we think of education today, we decide that it is about duster, blackboard, chalk, teacher, textbook, exam, grade, certificate. I don't need all of that. All I need is 3 things to learn: motivation, time, and content. Best of the best have already available content on the network. Why do I need teacher for? Teachers are obsolete. When I say this to teachers, they react. I said, look, I don't need teacher to come and give a lecture. I can get it on the web, wherever I want, whenever I want, on whatever subject you tell me. I can get it from the best of the best. But I need teacher as a mentor. But they are not trained to be mentor. They don't know how to mentor anybody because they are themselves irritated. How do you train millions of people to be mentor overnight? Why do you need classroom? If I was to build a university of tomorrow, it won't look like campuses of today. It's all obsolete. Classes can be conducted on bus stand, shopping centers, hotel lobbies, temples. All you need is 5 young kids to be together to learn. Children learn more from each other than from teacher. So how do you change education paradigm? I can go one by one on every subject and I can tell you everything we do today is totally bogus. Literally. Okay? Let me take car. Just take a car. Every car in the world today is used per day 8%. 92% of the time this thing is not used. It's in the garage, it's on the road, it's parked, it's at a traffic light. Okay? And we have 50 million cars we produce every year. I have 4 cars, which is a totally useless thing to have. I have 4-car garage. I have insurance for 4 cars. Like, first thing is going to be that all trucks are going to have driverless truck. When that happens, 3 million people will be out of job. There are 3 million drivers. You don't need driver to drive a truck. When automated car becomes a reality, I'll be able to order a car on my cell phone and I'll be able to go wherever I want to go and car will work 24 hours a day. So 1, I won't own a car. 2, I won't need a garage. 3, I won't need parking space. There are cities in America where half of the downtown is parking space. I have an office in a building in US where there are 1,000 people work. It's a 34-story building in this much space, and there is parking all over. Okay. So when that happens, you won't produce 50 million cars. You'll probably produce 5 million cars, 10 million cars. So all the car companies are going to be out of business. Believe me. Every driver would be out of business. Yeah. It will free up space in downtown. You won't need traffic lights. Think of that. Do you realize how many traffic lights are there in the world? In the world. All this wiring and lamp and heat and power. Why do you need traffic lights? Car knows where to go, what to do, and where to stop. It is that world we have to think of. And nobody understands what this world is. And it's right there. It's not too far. All robots will be manufacturing all kinds of things, and there won't be work. So the idea of 40-hour-a-week job is obsolete. So whenever I talk of training, people say, what about job? There are no jobs. So don't worry about it. Okay. There'll be different kinds of jobs. People will have to learn to live with leisure. People will have to learn to live with temporary jobs. 3 weeks work, no work. 6 weeks work, no work. You can't be electrical engineer all your life. You may have to be a barber, electrical engineer, painter, and whatever else. And you'll have to be happy with it. Okay. You need multidisciplinary approach to life. You'll have so much free time. You'll have to learn to live with leisure. So when you look at the human civilization changing from, hunters to agriculture to manufacturing to information, you realize that in all of these civilizations, there has never been a moral civilization. Everybody has killed everybody else to make money. Foreigners came, occupied territory and said, oh, we are the owner. Everybody went there everywhere else with guns and whatever, and then acquire somebody's land and say, oh, I'm the owner now. Okay. There's no moral standards. All of the rich guys in the past who collected a lot of money were all immoral. Everybody. In US, you look at Morgan Stanley's and all these big barons basically looted the system. Now is the time to think of a moral civilization in information age. It is the time to see that we really evolve more as human beings and not as fighters and wars and looting everybody. That's what has been going on, still goes on. And that is well respected. These are considered heroes. So when we have free time, we'll begin to really enjoy art, culture, music, family. We don't know how to do it. I also take great pride in the fact that I work 70 hours a day. You got to be stupid to work 70 hours a day. But I do that because that's how I've been trained. In the future, a lot of new things are happening. Car is one example. They are producing meat out of vegetarian material, texture. I have seen a hamburger produced in US out of vegetables, which is exactly like hamburger. You can go Google it and you will know all about it. It started with 1,500 pounds or $1,500 for hamburger. Then it is now $10 and it will be pretty soon less than $1. When that happens, no cattle would be killed. No chicken would be killed. You know how many chickens we kill every year? And you know the feather we have to collect when we kill a chicken? It is about 10 mountains every year worth of garbage. So I have a friend who has designed a chicken which has no feather. It's already done. I have seen nose being printed on a 3D printer. You can print a ear on 3D printer and then just probably stick it up. It all sounds like science fiction. It's not science fiction anymore. Okay. I'm looking at right now a lead metal battery, which will give you 10 times more battery and 1/8 of the size, if that happens. If it doesn't happen now, it will happen 5 years from now. Path is laid out for almost everything. Some will take 10, some may take 20, some may take 5. So I see a world where communication is going to be free. Transportation would be free. City of Pune will provide all these cars to everybody. Wherever you want to go, you dial, car will come, you sit, you go wherever you want to go, and that part of your tax you are paying for the city. I see a day where education is all about self-learning. At the age of 10, you will be taught enough by parents and teachers that you are on your own. No college to go, no schools to go, sit wherever you want to sit, learn whatever you want to learn. Don't worry about degree, it's all bogus anyway. Okay. And do what you want to do. Okay. Same with health. Today, one of the main problems with health is we don't know enough about health. You know, I was telling yesterday somebody, when I had prostate cancer, that's the first time I figured out what prostate is all about. And I'm supposed to be an educated person. I didn't know the size of the prostate, you know, this, that, and I said, my God, this is news to me. We are so illiterate when it comes to health. We don't take care of our health because we don't know what to eat, how much to eat, when to eat, exercise, take care of this, that. Technology will lead us into that. So we'll be able to manage our health better. I have seen a group of friends in California who are working on a farm today. And there was an article in Wall Street Journal 2 months ago about it. You can Google it again. Where per acre, they are growing 150 times more food. Not 150%. 150 times. With right kind of tools and technology and radiations and this and that. And it doesn't require any soil. Already done. It is an experimental stage. Maybe in 10 years, you will get a rack from a store, plug it in, and all your food will be grown in your own house. Not too far. So food would be cheaper, inexpensive, transportation would be free, telecom is already free, energy would be free, robots will do all the work, they'll pay tax for us. Really? Okay. And we'll have good time. Population will settle at 11 by 2050 and then will start going down. Okay. If you go to YouTube, you will find a great video on population projections. After 2050 is going down, maybe by 2200, it will be again 7-8 billion, and maybe by 2300, it will be 5 billion. Can you imagine the world? That's the world we are creating. I wish I was 50 years younger, but at the same time, I had a great time living through this period. This has been the most interesting and exciting technological journey that anybody could ask for. A birth of a transistor while you were young, color television, satellites, DNA. You know, yesterday I was in Bangalore and somebody said, Mr. Pitroda, I got to do your genome sequencing. So I said, okay, what would it do? He said, okay, I just want to do it. I said, why? He said, I'm just curious. So he took my blood right there and then, you know, I still have a tape here. And he said, I'm doing genome for cows, buffalo, and Sam Pitroda. So I warned him, I said, don't mix it up. But the point is, there are people all over. Some Indian fellow said, I will be able to do your genome in 2 months. That's the beauty of this conversation. 20 years ago, this would have been a big project to go to some lab and somebody will say, why do you want genome? You know, it'll cost you $5,000, $20,000. There's some guy I just met, I never met in my life. That is democratization of technology. So it's not about democratization of information, it's also about democratization of technology. And if I had met that fellow on the street, I would have never realized that he's capable of doing my genome analysis. He's just ordinary looking Indian guy with mustache and standard stuff. But up here, he was very different. Never underestimate talent in people. Everyone is so capable, so smart, and so good. But we sometimes don't value that. Technology is going to open up huge amount of opportunities for large number of people. And I see a world which is going to be so very exciting, so very different, very challenging. I just want to live another 10 years to see some of these things. I have a 6-year-old granddaughter. Ever since she was 3 years old, she would Skype me. She Skypes me every day. Even today, this night she'll Skype me. And every once in a while she would say, Dada, bandwidth is not good. Can I call you back? I was 6-year-old. And this is so natural. If you have a problem operating your phone, give it to a 5-year-old, they'll fix it. They never read instructions. They've never seen instruction manual, but they know how to do it. I don't know how they do it. Even in my house, my wife and I would have sometimes problem with remote control because there's so many channels and so many buttons, and we'll mess it up. And then my wife will say, fix it. I can't fix it. I'm frustrated. So we call neighbor's kid, 7-year-old. He says, uncle, don't worry. He fixes it. That's the world we live in. We have to accept that the world has changed so much and changing so rapidly that everything we do today is obsolete. So when we get trapped in Indian news media and all this nonsense we hear from all these people, I worry about them, saying, what the hell these people know? They have no clue as what they are talking about. But they're still talking. People are listening. People think this is great. So we are indeed living in best of the best times in human history. Let's enjoy it. Thank you.
Maxell.